Hello, good morning. This is Siva Devaki from MassMailer. Today I'm going to talk about the delivery time that you typically have in a MassMailer campaign. If you've been using MassMailer, you must have noticed that it does take time to send emails. There are various reasons about it. I'm going to explain all of that. But we have come up with a custom feature through which you can actually increase, meaning you can actually improve the overall speed of any high volume campaign. If you're going to have maybe 100K, 1,000, 200K, 1,000, or 500K, 1,000 campaign members that you're trying to send emails, how do you actually increase the overall delivery speed? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Just to talk about a little bit of a background, it typically takes 1.5 hours to process and send emails about to 10K recipients. I'm sure you must have noticed if you ever used MassMailer. Not that everybody actually sends 10K emails in a single campaign, but many do. But if you ever have to send high volume, then we typically would recommend clients to break up the actual campaign into smaller campaigns, meaning if you want to send, say, 200K, then we would always recommend, hey, break it down, don't send all 200K at one time so that you can actually deliver quickly. It's been a manual process most of the times. We've been debating what do we really do about it because we are also kind of stuck with Salesforce platform processing speeds and the resource availability. At the same time, even SendGrid has its own processing speed and the resource availability because both of them are cloud-based applications, and every application or software does have certain limitations. It cannot be unlimited resources. So we are dependent on these products or the platforms, and unfortunately, we can't really do anything with respect to MassMailer. How much ever we optimize our code, ultimately, once we hand it over to Salesforce to send emails, it has its own processing speed, which we cannot control, right? So that's a background. I know that was the problem. And, we basically decided, hey, why can't we come up with a feature through which you can actually split the campaign into sub-campaigns, which are smaller campaigns, and then let all these sub-campaigns actually run in parallel. So even though customers have been doing it on their own, we thought maybe it is easier if we actually build this feature within MassMailer itself. So we still haven't finalized how this is going to work, but we have a pilot feature that we came up with. So that's why we call this as a kind of an extension. Not in the package, but it is outside of the package, right? So what is the solution that we came up with? So we developed some custom components. It includes an Apex class and a flow, which basically will let you split a campaign into sub-campaigns. So meaning, let's say you want to send emails to, say, 100K campaign members, and then you would create a campaign, add all the campaign members into that particular campaign, which is, let's call this as a main campaign. And then there would be a button called, the split campaign, and then you click on it. And then behind the scenes, we pretty much take it over and then send out emails. So that's what we have done. And it's a complete custom components because it's still not packaged. We have not really finalized the solution on how this is going to work because we still need feedback from all our customers. So currently, we're going to charge for this because we have to have our the professional services team actually deploy these classes. And also, every customer has a different need. Some customers say, hey, I want to send an email immediately. Some say, hey, no, I want to schedule it. Some say, hey, I want a drip campaign. The various options customers or various types of use cases customers may have. So we really cannot just go generalize this and then package it because we know that this is actually going to be different for every single customer. So we have to charge for any kind of a customization that's done on top of it. So we will let you know how much would be the cost approximately. But typically it would be $100 per hour. We go by the actual time that we spend, and it includes 1 hour training session because the training is quite training, meaning it's all the same thing what you've been doing. Rather, it will simplify, but you still have to know the steps. So we will conduct a training session that is kind of included in that base price. And if you need any additional support, kind of modification, or you want to do, different campaign, whatever. So it all comes under the, additional support for which we'll charge you. And then this only works for Salesforce campaign and campaign members. Well, we could certainly think of implementing it in outreach for any other objects, but we need to start somewhere. So campaign is actually the easiest way and straightforward way to actually implement it. And if we really find a way to really package, if not the complete solution, maybe a partial solution of it, we perhaps may actually package this down the line, but we still need to collect the feedback. So right now it's just going to be a custom component only. And how do you do this? So basically, as I explained, once we deploy that Apex and Flow, we will collect your your use case scenario and then customize it as per your needs. So once it's all been deployed and tested properly from our side, we'll conduct our training session, but typically we'd go to the campaign details page. Once a campaign is ready, meaning you have to create a campaign, you got to have campaign members, you got to make sure that you have a template available, all of that should be ready. And then you just go to the campaign and then click on the button called split campaign to basically split your campaign into sub-campaigns. As I explained, if you have 100K, ideally you should just split it 10K each, meaning 10 sub-campaigns. That'll trigger 10 sub-processes, or it'll create 10 different outreaches. Each outreach will be related to each sub-campaign, and they're all running in parallel. Again, sometimes Salesforce may not pick up all 10 jobs at the same time. That's the thing, but I know that it does drastically improve the overall performance. We cannot really say how much, is because every Salesforce org is different. If you have other bad jobs running, Apex jobs running, scheduled jobs running, your processing speed may be a little slower than others. So we can't really give an estimate, but from our tests, we see the significant improvement on the overall processing speed. That's the reason why we thought we would offer this to clients and then take it as a pilot and see how things go. So that's all what you need to do, and then you have to update few fields on the campaign. Again, these are typical fields that you may see, like from name, from address, reply to the campaign type, so that we don't trigger this for every single campaign. Maybe campaign status, you need to pass in the template ID, IP pool, if at all you're going to have multiple IPs. If not, that's okay. So once you have all of that, you basically update the main campaign with all these fields, only one place, the main campaign, and the flow gets triggered behind the scenes, and all the sub campaigns will get processed. And then it'll send an email. Again, it will be multiple outreaches that gets created. So reporting maybe a little tough for you just because, these 10 campaigns are independent, even though they are related to the main parent campaign. That's why we still haven't really finalized how this should really work or to be designed, because we need the feedback. Statistics, ultimately can be captured onto the parent campaign if we again come up with some sort of a custom component, which we have not decided though. But this is basically just to make sure that you are able to deliver emails quicker than what it is today, provided you have high volume campaign. Customers have been running different outreaches, which are with a smaller chunk of recipients, and they have been looking at the statistics for each outreach separately. So we thought, at least for the sake of, or rather, you basically have to compromise on the overall statistics versus the processing time. You can always consolidate and bring all the statistics in one report, because the names of these outreaches are going to be similar with some timestamp difference. So you would still have a way to group all the outreach statistics into one, provided you're actually using a custom report that you can build on top of what we have provided. So statistics may not be a bigger issue as such. It is just a matter of customizing the report that we provided. Okay? So that's how basically you would have to kind of go through the steps to run this campaign. I'm actually showing some screenshots here. As you can see, this is a campaign screen. I've not shown the details page, but just assume that it's a MassMailer campaign. And then there's a button called split campaigns, as you can see, the action. So that's the one that you're actually going to use. And then this is just an example flow. Again, every flow is going to be different because every customer may have a different need. So we can't really finalize this is how it is going to be. But we'll have something which is baseline, at least. Some customers may or may not need, drip series. It could be just one email. So for them, it may be just one Apex action class that's actually sending an email. So that's the reason why we need to charge for any kind of a customization that we do for the flow. So let's take a look at a quick demo here. Actually bring up this flow to start with. So this is the flow that that we have in this particular org. And it's the same as what I just showed it to you on what I showed it to you on the presentation. As you can see, there are 3 total. This is active, and there's a criteria here. So we're running it for the campaign object, and name contains this, and then it has to have the active flag to true. So that's the criteria, and then you send an email to all the campaign members. So this is campaigns, and I have a campaign here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and let me open this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clone this just for the sake of reducing the overall time here. So, okay, I got the template ID here, and I have the name that is matching and also the active flag. I think that is pretty much what I need. And there's no IP pool. Let's see. Okay, so there's no IP pool that is created. All it has is just this ID. That's it. So what I could do, I could actually just go okay. I'm gonna go ahead and create a brand new campaign here. Just checking the flow condition once again. So this contains, so can be a name that contains that. So I would call this as a demo. I'm not making active flag it, so I'm just going to go create a dummy campaign here, right? So that's all what I have. I'm not populating anything else. Just create a campaign. So this is basically, the steps that you have to follow. So once you have the campaign ready, typically you would just go add all the campaign members. So I'm just going to go to contacts here. I would just pick up whatever contacts that I have. So I would just go select these two, for example, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's just go add a few more. Test contacts. More. So I want to add total 10. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I would just go add them as campaign members. Again, you're not following the same process what I'm doing. This is just a manual way to do it, but you would typically add campaign members from a report or a list view, so that way you're done. So if you have a report with, say, 100K report members in it, you just go click one button, add to campaign, and then select the campaign and add it. So that's how quick it is going to be. You never have to really do this manually one at a time. So I have the campaign ready, right? And I'm going to go ahead and update the campaign, the template ID as well. So I have 3 templates because this flow has 3, 3 emails that I'm sending. So I would just go select the same template ID for all of them for the sake of testing. So this is a template ID. I'm just going to go copy paste. And how do you find this template ID? I'm happy to show that. It's quite easy. So let's just go add the template. The template ID as well. And that could be an API name. So it doesn't need to be template ID. This example, I think it's just picking up a template ID, but you can also have the API name if you don't feel comfortable storing the IDs here. That's not a problem. So once you have that, there is a button or action here called Split Campaign. Now, just kind of explain, right? This is where the custom process or custom components actually kick in. So far, what you've done is standard Salesforce thing. There's no MassMailer in picture as such, right? But when you click this split campaign, it's actually going to ask you how many campaign members need some campaign you need to have. So you got to do a quick math. Again, let's say if it is 100K that you have, make it 10K in each sub campaign, so 10,000, right? So that's how it is. So right now I have 10. I'm gonna make it 2 each, so it'll create 5 sub campaigns. So that's kind of a math. We didn't want to automate that just because every customer will have different number that they may want to have in the sub campaign. Some may want to have 5K. I don't know. So we thought we'll keep it flexible. It's not a complex thing to calculate. Based on how many sub campaigns. Don't go more than 10K campaign members in the sub campaigns. That's the rule of thumb. So we may restrict you to kind of enter 10,000 as a maximum in that particular the small validation thing that we're doing, right? So basically, what has been done so far, we just created, the sub campaigns here. So each one of them should be having 2. So if I go back here, let's just go there, and I would just do all campaigns. As you can see, So there are 5 sub campaigns that got created. I'm just going to go open one of them just to show you. So it should have 2 campaign members. So likewise, it would have created 5 times 2, that is 10. So it already split the main campaign into sub campaign. So that's done. Now, as I mentioned, the second step, again, more or less is going to be the same for you as well. You will have to basically click on that split campaign button and then update few fields here. So in this scenario, this is just a demo. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it active, but it may be a little different from you. Sorry, in your scenario, you may be entering few more fields such as campaign type, maybe campaign status, a few other fields. It all depends on your own implementation and your own requirements. Since this is a demo, I want to keep it simple. So just make it active. And then we're going to look at any active campaign that has this particular name. And that's what we're going to pick up. But again, in your scenario, we'll make it more dynamic in nature. So once you have that, all you need to do is just click on the save button. And that basically would process behind the scenes, all the emails would go. I want to make sure that this is active flow. Okay, this is active. And then just make sure. Okay, so it did send an email. Okay, so I got some emails here, as you can see. Just now I received 4 emails because I had 4 email addresses. So if you open this, it's basically the email that I sent right now. That's it. So that's how each sub campaign is getting executed. So this is this is the main one. I believe this is a sub campaign. So I'm just going to go refresh this demo one, which is one of the sub campaigns, and then you would be able to see hopefully the outreach. Okay, so it's still. Oh, okay. So that could be because of the reason why we did not set up the email notification URL properly for this particular demo instance could be the reason. That's why it's not showing those. But let's just go take a look at MassMailer. You get an idea. So basically, every sub campaign gets triggered, on its own, and then it'll send an email. So it's not just going to be one. Okay. All right. So seems like this is the one that got triggered. Okay, we just sent emails, and let's see if it has the statistics. So there are 4 got delivered and 2 got failures, and 4 suppressed. So basically, it has sent all the emails as we discussed. And again, this is just a demo just to explain how the overall process would work end to end. And it doesn't mean that we are actually going to be finalizing the exact same implementation for you. It could be a little different. We are happy to kind of discuss your own needs. Our goal is to basically reduce the overall time that has been spent in the processing. And if we are able to achieve, even if it is, I know it's going to be more than 50%, but I can't really say because every customer arc is different. So we'll see how this really comes out for every scenario. And eventually this can be packaged, at least the partial logic can be packaged, if not complete thing, because flow is still going to be different for every customer, but we'll see whatever the baseline flow that we can come up with, or that we can think of, okay, this could be the baseline, and it can be extended for various use case scenarios. Okay. So again, thank you so much for joining the webinar. I'm happy to clarify any questions that you may have. Okay. All right, seems like no questions here. Here is my contact info and our company contact information. This is a weekly webinar that we schedule it every Thursday. It could be 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific. So right now it's supposed to be 9 a.m. Pacific. It was a typo. And if you are new to MassMailer, feel free to get a trial. So you can just go to our website and click on the free trial. And then these videos will be posted to our YouTube channel. Feel free to go to YouTube and find MassMailer and subscribe to it. That way you actually get to know all the latest the videos that we are posting there. And if you are interested in joining our webinars, you will receive an email if you're actually in our database. And also you can look up our social channels, because we're going to announce every single webinar to the social channels and also our website as well. Once again, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. Appreciate it. Take care. Have a good day. Have a good evening.